Hello and welcome to the first guide on patch 12.6. Now at the making of this guide, patch 12.6 isn't out yet. We're about 2 hours away. However, using the information provided in 12.5, I feel confident that I can help you make an insane amount of money at the beginning of 12.6. The first step is to get level 15 for the flea market. Now this is a new requirement for the flea market, but it's going to be worth it, because at level 15, that requirement to get into the flea market is going to make it so when the majority of the players hit level 15, there is going to be a massive explosion of supply and demand on the market. One of the big changes in 12.6 is going to be that the flea market will require found and raid status on most sold items. I think guns are exempt, or guns will always have found and raid no matter whether they're taken in or not. But what this means is certain items are going to be ridiculously sought after and expensive. For example, anything required for hideout progression, anything required for quest progression, and any and all keys, because keys will lose their found and raid status when taken into a raid. So if you buy an expensive key, take it into a raid, that is no longer in circulation. Ergo, there's going to be more demand for those keys because there'll be less supply. First, we're going to go over quest and hideout items that you should keep an eye out for, and if you manage to extract with them in your secure container or in your backpack, they will count as found and raid, so they might be worth more money to hold on to and sell at level 15. Now this is the one I'm most confident on. GPUs are going to be used in the Bitcoin miner regardless what changes they make, and finding in raid is going to make them so much more expensive. If you find any of these GPUs and you're not wanting to get the 50 together to make your own, I would recommend listing these on the flea market. I'm going to predict they're going to be around 300-500k per GPU. Now if you want to farm these, I would recommend the computer room on Reserv, Tech Light, and the downstairs tech on Interchange and Shoreline. Shoreline has a bunch of them behind locked doors. USB sticks massively gate progression on 2 different quest lines for Skier and Jaeger. Now, Jaeger, I believe, needs his USBs to be found in raid. Again, this is going off 12.5, but USBs, the beginning of last wipe 12.5, I found 3 extra USBs and I managed to make 2 mil within the first week of gameplay. Hoses and Saline Solution are both used in quest progression and also making certain upgrades to the hideout. Now, back in 12.5, when these became popular due to the hideout, they were going for around 100 to 200k a piece. Now that's not a massive amount, but you can find 3 or 4 a raid quite easily, and especially if they now have to be found in raid to be traded, they're going to be a sought after item. I found most of mine in caches. The LEDX is fantastic money regardless of whether it's found mid-wipe, early wipe, end of the wipe. However, I feel it's going to be much better money now with the found and raid tag. You can't kill someone who's just picked it up and then have it be found in raid. There's going to be a lot of things that reduce the overall amount of LEDXs that are going to be available on the flea market, and that in turn is going to increase its price because the things people need it for aren't decreasing in line with it. Now you can find these on Shoreline, Interchange and Labs. They spawn in specific positions. Mostly on Shoreline they spawn behind locked doors. Same with Interchange. Labs they can spawn out in the open but requires a keycard. I'd just keep an eye out. If you find something that says LEDX, stash that. Just get out with that. It's good money. They go for an average 1 to 2 million. 60 round AK mags heavily gate the progression of Prapor's questline due to you needing 10 of them. It's either 5 or 10 for the ice cream cones quest. Now, these need to be found in raid, I believe. Actually, no, scratch that. They don't need to be found in raid, else it would make this pointless. But they need to be found in raid to be sold anyway. But with that in mind, there's going to be far less of these on the marketplace, and a lot of what people would do to get that quest line done is just buy them. They would buy a certain AK from Peacekeeper and remove the 60 round mag. Now the reason why people can make a lot of money through dealing with 60 round mags is prior to about week 2 in the wipe, most standard edition players are absolutely racing to finish Prapor's questline to get the Epsilon container. Next up we have quest keys. Now these quest keys are going to be extremely high value because they gate mid-level quests which should be open when you have level 15. And these keys are required to progress down those quest lines. Office 112 West is required for Vitamins Part 1, and it also is a key in that room spawns the blue key card spawn, so that makes it valuable as well. Now you can find it at the bus depot. I'll have on screen 2 images showing the location of the key. West 216 is required for Lend-Lease Part 1. Now it unlocks, as you would guess, 216, which carries a chance for a LEDX spawn, I believe. You can get M4s in it, it's got weapon boxes in it, all around a really good key. Now it spawns inside the health resort on Shoreline. It's in the northern spa/resort building upstairs in the office room. The next key is West 219. Now West 219 is required for Spa Tour Part 4, and it unlocks 219 in the west wing of Shoreline. It can be found on Shoreline, and it is found in the lighthouse at the very top on the broken crate. West 220 is required for Spa Tour Part 4 as well. It can be used if you don't have a West Ring 219, so both of them can be used as a key for that quest. Now this one does not have a location, it can just be found in jackets and bags of Scavs, so if you find that, you know it's worth some money. West 306 is required for Healthcare Privacy Part 2. Now it can be obtained as a quest reward for Private Clinic, but if not, it can be found in jackets and Scavs. It can also be found in the bathroom locker on Factory, and I will show that spawn on screen now. So you know the bathrooms on Factory, it's like on one of the blue lockers on the right hand side, but I'll show you the picture. East 306 is required for Cargo X Part 1 and Lend-Lease Part 1. Now this key is not required if you have East Wing 308, however it will still sell for a decent price to those who have neither keys. It can be found on customs, in the pockets of Scavs, and I think jackets, but it doesn't say so here. Now in customs, it's in the customs office building, that room with the safe in, where you have to go for the documents for a delivery from a past. East 308 is pretty much the same as 306, required for Cargo X Part 1 and Lend-Lease Part 1, no, Lend-Lease, I'm saying that wrong, Part 1. And it's not required if you have 306, but again, valuable to anyone that doesn't have either. Now it can be found in jackets, pockets and bags of Scavs, but also cabin number 1 in the lumberyard on the nightstand. I'll put a location on the screen now. East Wing 328 is required for Wet Job Part 5. It can be found in jackets, Scavs. It can also be found on Shoreline, on the table at Scav Island. Now Scav Island is if you spawn on the right side of the map next to the rock tunnel, it's that top island where you've got to cross over the ship to get to it, and it'll spawn on the table in the middle. Again, there will be a location on the screen now. The early logistics key can be found on customs. It is required for database part 2 for Ragman. It's one of them very early quests that do get gated by not being able to find this key. Now it is in the car next to the cut through that is required, the factory key, exit key to get through, right next to the gas station where Reshala spawns. Now I'll have a picture on screen now. This key, I think it has a really high base sell value anyway, so I think it's always worth looking for. I think it's around 50 to 60k. So even if you can't sell it on the flea market, it's still good value by itself. The Emercom Key is required for Vitamins Part 1. It can be found on customs and in jackets and Scavs. It is found at the old gas station, new gas station on customs. It's in the back of the ambulance. Now you go into the back of the ambulance and it's sat on the chair. Again, pictures on screen. Lastly, we have the factory and the marked key. Now these can spawn pretty much everywhere, jackets, bags, you name it. But the reason these are going to be so expensive and they're going to be good money is because they are both quest keys and some of the best loot keys in the game. Now factory key isn't a loot key technically, but it allows you to extract more safely and therefore make, actually survive and make money. But both of these keys, I believe, are going to be fantastically more expensive because you're not really going to be able to buy half-baked keys. You're not going to be able to buy half durability ones. You're not going to be able to buy the ones people think, oh well, I've got 12 uses left and I better sell it. It's going to be found on raid, and as soon as you buy it and take it into raid, that's it. It is now taken out of the loot pool, the general population. So I believe it's going to make those keys really expensive. That is going to be it for this video. The wipe has just went live literally 30 minutes ago. I'm watching Deadly Slob play through a couple of his first raids. I am very eager and very jealous to get playing, but I thought I'd make this quick guide to help those who are going to be starting playing in the next couple of hours, and if they find something rare, to keep it, to take advantage of the new flea market mechanics. I hope you have the best raids to the beginning of this wipe. I hope it goes well for you. I'm also going to try and stream as much of this wipe as possible. If you want to catch me, my Twitch is in the description. I do stream with a heart rate monitor, and I am horrendously overweight, so it's a fantastic combination to watch. I hope to see you then, and I'll see you next time.